Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformation. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. I am your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and author, Sean Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 74 countries. So whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to us for some time, I want to personally thank you to those listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here is where we tell the stories of why we're doing what we're doing. We highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we use it to transform others, elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, Tuesday through Friday. Join our Facebook group, Life Transformation Radio Community. And never miss an episode by subscribing wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Radio Public, Overcast, Castbox, Himalaya app, and the Google Play Music app, and now officially available on Pandora. So I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. On the show are entrepreneurs, speakers, business owners, coaches, podcasters, authors, basically amazing human beings that are impacting the world around them. And my guest today does exactly that. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show during our live broadcast, call us up, 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. And with that, please help me welcome to the show my guest for today, Mark Maes. Mark, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Thank you. Thank you. What a pleasure to be involved in this.
I'm excited to have you on the show. I was digging into there, reading your bio, and you've done amazing. God, you did an amazing impact in the world so far, and I just can't wait to dig into it and know exactly what that high five priority business mapping system is. That sounds incredible.
Oh my gosh, it is. It is. And you know, I got to tell you, I have that, I don't know if you know this, what that is. I have this Malcolm Smith smile right now. I just can't get this smile off my face to just
it's amazing.
Experience it and to share with you what it is that I do, because I'm so passionate about it and so driven to accomplish this assignment that was put on my heart some time ago.
And
so
I
anyway,
feel that passion and I feel that energy coming through, and I want to build on that. So the title of this episode is Five Priority Business Mapping System with CEO Mark Maes. He is the founder and CEO of Maes and Associates, a business consulting and management firm. Mark is also the creator of the High Five Priority Business Mapping System. Prior to launching Maes and Associates in 2009, was the CEO and founder of M&M Interiors for over 30 years. His leadership and commitment to excellence propelled the Riverside-based company to occupy the position of the fourth largest non-union C9 contractor in California. Mark's portfolio of accomplishments include a degree in marketing, advertising and business, construction law and management, as well as blueprint design. For over 7 years, Mark attended TEC, a CEO Fortune 500 distinguished group of business owners, and 4 years with BBL, Biblically Based Leadership, for CEOs and executives. Mark provides comprehensive consulting with companies, which puts him alongside CEOs, executives, small business owners, entrepreneurs, and teams with his trademarked and copyrighted system, High Five Priority Business Mapping System. In this capacity, he teaches businesses the art of scrutinizing and identifying what perfect looks like by turning their vision into achievable goals and objectives, and creates measurable action steps with result-based accountability. His LinkedIn site, Facebook, Military Executive Academy, and LinkedIn is there in the show notes. Please connect with him. Click on his links. Send him a message letting him know that you heard him here on Life Transformation Radio. With all that said, Mark, I am excited for this first question to ask. Why?
Yes.
Why do you do what you do?
And you know what? I don't know if we have enough time to share that with you, but the plain and simple was from an experience that I had. And can we clarify that? How much time do we have?
Yeah, we got about
keep me in check.
We got about 30 minutes, and I'll definitely keep you in check. We are live here on Life Transformation Radio for the next 9 minutes.
Awesome. Yeah, I like you read in the bio. I'm an old dog now, but I've had a tremendous journey in my lifetime, and it's just been I'm a product of. And when people ask me about what schools I went to and yada yada yada, all the degrees and stuff, I really just say I'm an alumni of the School of Hard Knocks, because it's the lessons that I've learned in this journey that has empowered me to do what I do. And I'm just amazed at the outcome of what has happened, what goes on, and what our potential is when we tap into things that I share and through the high five. And if you do studies, there's no denying people in general by DNA want to succeed. The heartbreaker is that we just most often don't know how. And it's not that we can't, it's that we don't. Anyway, it's just, and so when you can take that belief system and that understanding, it changes the game. And the high five is really broken down into two components. The fact of those 5 departments exist in every business. I don't care what business it is, and I challenge anybody to tell me a business that doesn't. And then what do we do with that knowledge? How do we manage that vision through outcomes successfully, efficiently, in a proactive fashion? It's really the simplicity of it. And
I love it.
I mean, it's in depth with all of the studies and reports and all of the data that supports why it is what it is. But when you understand it, it's like dancing. I often use the 2 analogies I often use. Business is like an engine that has those 5 gears in it: marketing, sales, finance and administration, operations, and brand and company growth management. When you embrace the fact of those 5 gears, and then you consider this, that the oil, like in an engine, is mindset and culture. Whether you have generic plain wrapped oil or you have high quality Lucas oil. And it makes a difference. The people that spend 5 times the amount on the oil, they get it. They understand. They're not dumb. They just understand that when you take care of the mindset and the culture of an organization, the huge effect that has in the performance of the engine. Sorry about that. We think of things like, I like Wayne Dyer's statement of, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's not by chance. That's such a profound statement. And to be able to understand that, you take that fact of people want to succeed, they just don't know how. Then you provide them with the how.
Yeah.
And then they have the tools. They become the fishers. They can do it over and over and over again.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. And you said something that is so important. We need to repeat it. Those 5 areas of the company or of the business, I believe, in what I've seen in my experience, is most people, 1, don't know those exist, or 2, don't know how to build them. I had a guest on the show named Dee by and Dee and I are friends. We're going to talk, and she talks about how part of an accounting business that that she was a part of. Those people don't even have an accounts receivable how do you set that up?
Oh my God.
I don't even know. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And so she was telling me about accounts payable, accounts receivable, and she just got into it. And I was like, so true. I never hear people talking about the accounts receivable and payable part of the business. And then you labeled 5 areas, and I was like, yep. Holy crap. The third or fourth one, I was like, no kidding. You never hear that. So I want you to go back, list out those 5 areas one more time.
Okay. And if I can, give me just a quick, we learn, all of us, we go through school by default. We've learned, and in the world, we've learned all of these things. We just don't understand how to pull them together. And that's
Correct.
what the high 5 is. It's, okay, what do I do? And think about it. As I explain it, it's also the flow, the natural flow of business. And when you look at the colors on our card of all of our documentation, those colors are visually studied and assessed to determine that marketing is associated to this color. Sales is associated to this color.
Yep.
Finance and administration. And those are studies. Those aren't the world according to Mark. That's people way smarter than me that are put in their position to analyze all of this stuff, push that stuff forward. I just take to you, like I said, I'm an alumni, regardless of what schools I've gone to, I say I'm an alumni of the School of Hard Knocks because I didn't understand how this worked till I started doing it. Hence 30 years of running a construction company with hundreds of employees in multiple cities, multiple offices around the United States. This was squeezed like a grape. I needed to figure out how to do this, and it started. So back to the groups.
I like
First is marketing. Marketing, that's both brand and service, and it's so important. And I can talk about it, or we can go to the next one.
Yeah. Go to the next one.
First one is marketing. The second one is sales, converting leads into contracts or invoices. Next one, finance and administration. That's the vault. That's where the money, the privacy, the accounting, the gauges, the measurables are put into place and managed. The next one is operations. 78% of the businesses in the world start in operations. They're really good at their widget. They're great at their craft, but that does not make them a CEO. And that's why these other 4 importance matter. When in a business, it's horizontal. Then you drill down. In operations, it's vertical. We have a task, we have an outcome to provide, and we get it done. Anyway, so that's finance and administration. Next is operations. That's what I just spoke to. And then the 5th is the wheelhouse, and we label it as brand and company growth management. About 3 or 4 years ago, I had a student, I was speaking on a campus in Southern California, and I had a student come in afterwards and tell me, Mr. Maes, did you ever consider if you changed that last category to growth, then the acronym stands for Mass Fog. And I shared that with our marketing people because it is so relevant.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, name it growth. I mean,
Yeah, growth. So on the short spaces, you'll see it in a lot of the training pieces that we put out. It'll be identified as growth, but always explained that it's company and growth management. It's the wheelhouse. It's the executive boardroom. It's where the plans, where the experience is reviewed and understood, where the current conditions are analyzed and understood, and where the vision is integrated into the performance of the company, and then it's taken back to the rest of the company, the 4 other departments, as a draft, and then you share with your people that are doing it the draft, and and they let them critique it and have their voice into it, because that causes buy-in. And it just makes, there's certain elements that you can just do slightly changing that radically changes the outcome and performance of a business. And that's what we do. That's what the high five is.
I love that. I was thinking you could change the order and go OMFGs, like and talk about your OMFGs, because people in business are like, oh my, right? OMFG. So you talk about your OMFGs, and you put the O first because you said most businesses start here in operations. So the O would be first, and then you have marketing, finance, growth, sales becomes your OMFGs.
I love it. We can call it whatever you want.
Marketers,
Don't call it late for dinner. And it's the information. You know what I mean? I'm just so passionate about sharing this. And I'm telling you, I see all of the time aha moments. All of the time going, oh, I knew that. I just never thought it went to that. Or I can see how this works together. That makes sense. And that's why I say business is also like dancing. You know, we see these programs on TV, the Dancing with the Stars and all of that. And I would say business is like dancing, in the sense that the music is the culture. That's the stuff, that groove that makes us tap our toes, or that music you listen to when you're working out or cleaning, you know, just that energy. And then the process of the business, the steps, are the dance steps. And when you can get that down to just a simple, I know how to do it, and then you can add the spice of the individuals, you can get your groove on. You know that feeling. Everybody knows that feeling. Same with playing sports. It's the difference between, if you've ever played sports, any organized sports, it's that difference between playing on a B and a C team and playing on an all-star team. And if you've ever played on an all-star team, it's the mindset that creates that synergy, and you become the best of you when you unleash yourself. And that's exactly what it is in business. I deal with CEOs that have been CEOs for 35 years, and they're million-dollar companies, but we're all individuals. We all get up the same way, we put our pants on the same way, and we have fears or faiths. And how we manage those makes all the difference in the world. But we come from the same crop. You know what I mean? Well, maybe not crop,
100%.
Yeah,
we're all from the same cloth, if you will. I totally get it.
Right. Well, I use the cloth piece to identify the difference in the generations, because a lot of times in businesses, we talk about oil, we have leadership that's cut out of a different cloth. Let's say my generation, there were certain core fundamentals we were taught as kids, or we kind of grew that up with us as we went, and there's old practices. Well, as a CEO, when you're standing at the second floor of your building and you're talking to all the employees, you can't speak your language to them if your audience is all different generations, because now as leaders, we're dealing with 4 to 5 different mindsets of generation, and we have to be cognizant of that. And it is our responsibility as leaders to speak their language. We have a point to share, we need to speak their language, because if we get full of ourselves and say we're not going to, they should speak our language, maybe so, but you're going to spend a lot of time and a lot of money getting there. And if you really want the buy-in of your team, you have to be your team. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely. So the focus of the show.
Shut me up.
No, good. The focus of the show, really the meat and heart of the show, are those transformational moments people go through. I don't believe that is all sunshine and rainbows. And we all seen the squiggly little lines on the picture where we all think success is at the bottom and it goes straight to the top. But then you have the next picture, success is actually this. There's a bunch of squiggly lines and ups and downs and all that. So I'd love to know what your transformational moment was. What is something that happened, or what is your moment in time that happened to you that put you on the path to what you're doing today?
Good question. And I will go. I'm going to go from the question just back and say that High Five Priority Business Mapping. I've been on assignment to do this for 7 years. I have been creating the content a lifetime. Mm-hmm. I had a specific thing happen to me that caused me to just let go and let God. And that was just a personal experience. But as I look back now, I know that who I am and who we all are is we're a product of our environment and what we've experienced and how we've refined and reacted. And I can think back to monumental times in my life that I experienced stuff like the power of the mind, and it's just so important to understand that. And I think back, when my dad died, really intense 90 seconds of 45 of it being totally alone and tearful. Mm-hmm. What now? And then the next 45 seconds, because I was a little 10-year-old Catholic boy, was God. God is everything. Wow. All this is about God. And then feeling the difference in myself from being so afraid to so at peace. And then people came around and the mindset changed and went on to other things, but I always remember that kind of stuff through my life, which I believe causes us, we can either be a victor or be a victim. There's plenty of things to be hurt about. There's plenty of things to be disappointed about. But when we stop thinking of how we were wrong and think about how we can right, it just changes things. And my whole life has been about learning and experiencing that. And by the grace of God, learning how to dance in the rain.
Yeah.
Really, because I think about it. I think in my lifetime, I think I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it's never been about the money. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. The money is nice and all of the things that it brings along with it. But it also brings a lot of deceit and lies and mistrust.
Yeah. Yep, I've had a burned partner or two. I've had business deals that I thought were a shoe-in. I was locked in. Come to find out that my competition had been scoping out the same person and deceitfully told them lies to where they wouldn't do business with me, and then come to find out that that client had come to me anyways because of the type of person that other. Like, I just always believe that the truth always wins. Like, they can do all kinds of dirty, underhanded, sneaky, whatever they want to do in business. I promote good karma 24/7. Completely grateful, blessed beyond belief, and good things are going to come because I'm patient and I promote that law of attraction of I put goodness into the world so that goodness is going to come to me. And not that I expect that the law of attraction is going to work. I've just seen that in the end, nice guys technically don't finish last, but in the end, if you really think about it, nice guys are going to finish last because all of the bad people are going to try to do it better and first and everything else, and they're going to get exposed. And who's left in the end are the
Mhm.
nice guys who are doing it the right way, and those are the ones who are thriving. Those are the ones that are getting the business, and those are the ones that are setting the example.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But and we need to share that. We need to mentor that because you know that by an experience of life, a duration of time, and there's so many people out there that, like I said in the beginning, we only know what we know. So if you were brought up in an environment that didn't share that positive outlook or didn't share that fact of knowledge or didn't share that, and you were raised in a different environment where you were dealt
Mm-hmm.
with other things, it takes a while, and some never do, get back to just the baseline.
Oh
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And that's
Oh,
where we're
100%.
just so responsible now as we see the generations and the mindset growth with technology is to just keep the blend of fact and truth in
Mm-hmm.
that. Because everything and everybody needs that base. And
Yep.
you think about depression and uncertainty and all because we get so far away from the base, because we don't understand those, we don't remember those core fundamental experiences that people have done wrong and learned from those wrongs and have become
Mm.
better. We just shun the whole experience and we want to look at
Yep.
something else. And when we forget that history will repeat itself. And
Yeah.
we just have to be cognizant of that. There's nothing, people tend to misunderstand kindness for weakness. And if we can get away from that, we can get a much more stable environment where if I just do for you and we're in an environment where you do for me, I don't have to worry about what you're going to take from me. It's because the culture and the value, like you said, it's understood that is the best way, the right way to do things. So like in a business and an organization, being able to understand your people and their pains and share
Yep.
with them the culture of what you want in your organization and how to just realize them both. Because the people we hire, we typically hire from resumes and pedigrees and social media and all of this, but those are not the people that show up to work every day. The people that are dealing with problems at home that might have a sick family member or a change in condition, whatever. They may show up at their job, they're ailing in some way. When we can restore that kind of safety place in a communication platform in a business, changes the game. It's like that all-star team. You're throwing triple plays.
Yep.
They're leaping
Oh.
over the fence and snagging that grand slam.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. You had said something very key is the depression and the stress and anxiety that people feel in business. Where's my next dollar going to come from? Where's my next client going to be found? I call it the spray and pray. Some people's marketing tactics are to spray and pray. Let me email 50 people, and see what happens.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're not talking to that person. You're just spraying it out to 50 people. Let me blast my email list and hope that somebody bites. People can tell when you're desperate. People can tell when you're like, oh, but I'll lower the price, and it just sound desperate, And there's a lot. And they always say that 80 to 90% of businesses fail in X amount of time, and they're stressed, and it's tough. It's not easy. I've built 4 businesses while serving on active duty military orders since 2004. If building a business isn't tough enough, try doing it for like 4 hours a day and then hiring out and outsourcing things you should be doing, but you can't because you don't have the time. But you've outsourced them, so now you're like, did I hire the right person? Did I and I can't even tell you the stress that happens, right?
Yeah, I felt like you were walking around the room just checking these doors, just touching each one of these critical rooms that take place in the business.
Right.
If I can, I'd like to share something real quick with you. That you take those 5 businesses and you make that a slide rule in your mind. It's left to right, the marketing, the yellow's on the left, and the purple is the growth management. But just all of those 5 departments of business, and think back. What you just touched to is the dynamics of business. The 80-20 rule used to live over operations and finance. We did the work, we create an invoice, and we collect our money. That's old school way. That's the way we did it. Our handshake was our bond. Our word was our honor. All of those fundamentals took place. And through the migration of time, that dynamic has slid over with technology. Now the 80-20 rule lives over marketing and sales, not so much the operations of it. I mean, the fulfillment of it. So then we go to marketing and we think, okay, if our 80% lives in the marketing and sales world, and you merge that with the radical change of technology and how we market today versus how it was marketed 10 years ago or 15 years ago, night and day different. And what you have, if you think about it, you'll go out, like in my industry, you can go out and pull 100 business consultants, and 95 of them that are business consultants are really marketing consultants. But that's the way the public, the audience, perceives that now. And that's the way it's exchanged now. And if you think about the uncertainty piece, with technology changing, nobody is really sure on what is the best method. So now you have because of the direct link of social media, everybody has become an expert, not from their history, but from their now. And think about this. Earlier when we were speaking, I shared with you just the great incorrectness to deprive our history and just forget that. Take it back. Fundamental business. What gets measured gets improved. Been around since the beginning. We'll never
what you
ever
track
lose.
gets measured. Yep.
Yes. So I just say to anybody that's not sure in the marketing, like you would do in any other part in your business, create some measurables. And you don't have to know what they are. You can just speak about them. You can talk to another person and say, well, you know what, I want to do this. And your friends, and you talk about it in the round over coffee, and you say, I want to grow my customers I want to add 10 more customers a month. Well, let's talk about it. How are we going to do it? If your group is relatively on the same plane as you in the business world, and you have that dialogue, I promise you're going to come up with you're going to exist in the 80-20 rule, and you're going to bring up a pretty solid plan. But because you're not sure of it, you won't validate it. And that's the same component in the marketing world right now, because we don't push out as a customer measurables or gauges or deliverables. We get lost in the marketing shuffle. Well, we tried, and here's my money. Now what's going to happen? I don't know. Tell me what happens. It can't be like that. Yeah. Our success is too important to not be deliberate about it.
Right, 100%. I always mentor speakers in a way that you are not a speaker. You are a speaker who markets their speaker business. Unless you outsource it, then you're a speaker. You're a legit speaker. But if you do all of your own marketing, right, you're not a speaker. You're a marketer who markets their speaker business. You're a speaker who is constantly marketing themselves as a speaker. You're only on stage for an hour. unless you do a breakout session, then maybe you have 2 hours on stage. Unless you're the MC, then you got all day on stage. For the most part, you spend every single day marketing your speaker business for that 1 hour on stage. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And then they're like, holy smokes. Like that's, oh my gosh, that's true. They don't think about it. They think, man, I'm trying to get booked. Well, what is the action that you're taking to get that booking? Marketing. And then what is the process of you getting booked? Sales. Like, right? But you have to start. Either you're going to market it or someone else is going to market it for you. So right? So I totally resonate with everything you're saying. And I just feel like I just got the best coaching I've ever had for like the last 30 minutes. I'm like personally selfishly taking notes behind the scenes like, God, this is brilliant. I just like a page of notes. I'm like, oh, holy crap. So thank you for that. And this has been an amazing episode thus far. With the remaining about minutes that we have, here's what I want to know. I want to know how you are influencing your sphere of influence. How are you elevating the world around you? Do you have programs, products, services? What is it that says that I'm going to work with Mark? Or, how are you elevating the world around you?
Oh my gosh. We have all kinds of resources to take this mindset and submerge yourself in it. Like I said, it's two-part. It's the what and the how. And we've been invited last year with the Veterans Administration on a national launch program to take the high five content and create these MEA program, Military Executive Academy, which is just such a huge opportunity and blessing for us to share what it is and how it is we do it, and to give back to our veterans that have given so much for us and our country. And just, it's that integration of taking those key core fundamentals standards that are taught in our military and to direct and purpose them into the private sector of business, pushing them out into a field of top-level executives at whatever level they choose to be, at any one of those 5 categories that we speak of, or running, and many of them are running their own businesses or growing their own vision. So we put them, they go through an entire course that's been written based on the high five. We also have a private sector of that. It's in the progression to start being taught at the beginning of next year at the college level at a few various colleges. And it's also being, I understand, on this national launch, is going to be shared through the chambers of commerce. So there's a number of different ways to be able to tap into this information. But really what it is, it's the best practices of business, if you will. I've
Sure.
Like I said, I've been doing it for 35 years. I've seen it work and not work. I've seen it why and why not, and just understanding the passion of people. So it's just an incredible program. Yeah, and if we take it's just so core fundamental about mindset and practices, and it, from once you establish the vision and the goals, it's really about just holding accountability. Where are we spending our time at? Are we working on the things that are netting us results, or are we working on other things that are netting us nothing? And you know that. You know all of those components.
Yep, I call those DPAs. I call those DPAs, dollar producing activities.
I love it.
What are your DPAs? I read something just yesterday or the day before. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find it now. I read a report. He's like, my new report New Business Report, there are all these publications and stuff. And I swear I read something ridiculous, like 65, it was in the 60s, 65% of entrepreneurs and business owners do not spend their time on actions that make money. Like something ridiculous, something like that. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm not even like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Statistically, you can grab your phone right now and Google this question, and I'll give you the answer. Between 78 and 83%, your chances of succession is increased by having a plan. Give me a break. You know that.
Wow.
Why would you not do that? You don't come out of your house and jump in your car to go to New York without looking at a map and making sure you have enough money for gas. These are the simplicities that cause the successes, and it starts with the mind. It really is. And when you have these components around you, when you understand them, you're empowered by them. This is the way it works. I get it. You can be frustrated and spend a lot of money learning your own lessons, but why? We have this survey on our website that's just so dynamic about, you go on and it's just a check the box, but it's in such a fashion that the outcome can lay out your business to you and say, this is where I need help at, and this is what I need to be doing. And it's a free survey. It's incredible, the resources that are around us. But because of the time of technology, where do we go for sure that we feel for sure about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to thank you so much for being an amazing guest on Life Transformation Radio. This has been absolutely incredible, more than I could ever hope for. I've got so much information, and I know the listeners have a lot of information as well. And you are absolutely brilliant. I love the method that you design and how knowledgeable you are. It was absolutely incredible.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the great compliment.
Life Transformation Radio listeners, an amazing guest impacting the world around him. If anything resonated with conversation between Mark and I today, please reach out to him, LinkedIn, the website, the Facebook, right there in the show notes. Check it out. Connect with him. The Military Executive Academy is all in there as well with the LinkedIn. Click on the links. Send Mark a message. Let him know that you heard him here on Life Transformation Radio. And if you consider doing business with him, which I would definitely consider doing business with him, connect with the website, LinkedIn, Facebook. Definitely take a look at what he is offering. If this episode is anything remotely close to the amount of knowledge that he knows, you are definitely in for a treat. Here's what I want to say. Subscribe to Life Transformation Radio wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. We're available on Pandora as of today. We are available on Pandora as well as any app that plays podcasts. So please subscribe and leave us a rating or review. Let us know how we did. At the close, I always say, live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart. I call this living your brand. So until next episode, live a great life.